trying to get this to stand up. Hopefully you guys can see me. Let's do it this way. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm on a wobbly tripod because I have Delilah in my lap. My big beautiful lap is sitting Delilah. She was a little cray cray, right? Cray cray. So she's now settled down and being a sweet little angel that we know that she can be. She's such a cute little girl. But she's either like she's like a ball of energy. So a ball of energy that fizzles out after like 20 minutes or so. She'll fizzle out and start getting tired, and I'm like, oh. But then she'll sleep for like 30 minutes, and then she'll be like ready to go again. It's like crazy. It's crazy. So it's nice to see everybody. We're going to be discussing this because Nick Barris made a post. That we're going to go over, and then we're going to go a little back in time and see what the information was. Hey, Crystal Pistol, Stephanie, Diana, it's nice to see you. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking the messaging, the true messaging. We get word salad, we get flip-flop, we can't trust anybody in Sumner County. We don't know what's going on, and I'm sorry, but this is very sus to me that all of a sudden Seth is the only lone person out there, but it's not even like that. Let's read it. Hey, Izzy girl, it's nice to see you. I want to read Nick's post that he had 4 hours ago, but what did he say before this? What was he saying back in April? Or in his other post related to Sebastian Rogers? It seems awfully funny that all of a sudden today he's starting to sound like Bullhorn Betty. Nice to see you. Regina, Bear, Rebecca, it's nice to see you. So let's read it. The latest on Sebastian Rogers' case. It's now been more than 6 months since 15-year-old Sebastian disappeared from his Henderson, Tennessee home. The Amber Alert and investigation remain active. Several of you have messaged me asking a couple of questions. I'll do my best to answer. First, in cap lock letters, some have asked if the reward for information in the case has increased. We know the FBI has posted a $50,000 reward, and there is talk of another private individual is offering an additional $25,000. I believe that's coming from Dog the Bounty Hunter, actually. And I heard that it is a legit increase, but we don't have any confirmation of that just yet. So sit tight. I'll let you guys know. I've reached out to that person, but have not heard back. So I cannot confirm. Hopefully it's true. The larger the reward, the better chances someone knows something maybe comes forward. I have heard that money is being raised to help put up Sebastian's billboard across this country. I would like to see receipts. These people say, which I don't even like these people. I don't trust these people. One lives in a trailer. Doesn't seem like she's the best manager of money. When she can't even, handle her own personal finances. And I'm very, very concerned, one, whether they raise that amount of money or if this was just a PR stunt to get in the news because it got her their 15 minutes of fame. On the local news, but as soon as people hear them open their mouth and listen to how uneducated they sound, there's going to be how much drama they bring. There's going to be problems with that. Moreover, if they did raise that amount of money, it was in Sebastian's name, and I want receipts that these billboards are gone up and that they spent $22,000, because I want to make sure nobody's being fraudulent to their people, because people that put money for billboards, they now have an article stating this money was for billboards. So I pray to God every penny is used for billboards, and I hope the people on TikTok hold these ladies accountable for making sure that they have not just receipts but authenticated receipts. I don't trust them. Second, some have asked if TBI, FBI, or Sumner County office have cleared the Proudfoots, Sebastian's mother and stepfather, in the case. This may stem from something that was written in a court document. I don't know the exact context, but I can tell you what I've been telling you all along. No one has been cleared in this case, as authorities consider any and all possibilities. knowing new knowing new, I think that meant nothing new, no new evidence, but it says knowing new evidence, oh, possibilities, knowing new evidence could surface at any time. That being said, there are no suspects in this case. There's a big difference between not being cleared and being named a suspect. We check weekly with the sheriff's investigators, EMA directors, district attorney Ray Whitley, and TBI. They tell me Chris and Grady Proudfoot and Sebastian's biological father are not suspects. They've been questioned, they've been vetted, and there is absolutely no evidence at this time linking any of them to Sebastian's disappearance. None. I know many have their suspicions, that's fine, but suspicions mean nothing without evidence. DA Whitley is ready and willing to prosecute anyone once evidence links to someone to what happened to Sebastian. But for now, no evidence exists. I thought this, I wonder if it was this edited. I don't see it edited next to it. I could have sworn it said something. Let me read it and make sure I read it right. But anyways, it looked like no one has been cleared in this case. Authorities consider all possibility, no new evidence. Okay, never mind. I misunderstood that because I thought he said that there's nothing to clear. Maybe it was a different one. Maybe I saw it in chat. I think there was one but it said I thought I read something where it said nobody needs to be cleared because there's no foul play suspected or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I wanted you guys to hear this because this was what was said back then. You know, we're not saying that they're suspects. We want Seth cleared because he had nothing to do with it. He should never even been considered a suspect. I mean, maybe at the beginning, but after you do your due diligence, you take him off the list. I challenge everybody out there to please go to Cold Justice and watch Cold Justice and how they do their processes because that lady was good. I love Kelly. I think she's great. Not love her like that, but love her work. And I absolutely think she's great. But I wanted you guys to hear something. Hold on.
Great news tonight for us, though. Joining us from
Nashville. This is from April.
Reported with Scripps News Nashville. Nick Barris is with us, covering the story unlike anyone else and unlike any other station or organization on this one. Nick, great to see you again tonight. How would you describe where this investigation is? I see this as a mystery. It's baffling to me. Is this a criminal investigation? Is this a missing persons investigation? How is this? Is there an ongoing search?
Yeah.
What is this right now?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Vinny, I agree with you and your take on this. My take is they say that there is no sign of any foul play at this point, but they are not ruling it out. And I
see, he didn't answer the question. He's going to the question he wants to answer. I just wanted to point that out.
Couldn't agree with you more that a child does not wander off on their own and simply vanish without any trace unless someone else is involved. That's my take. But they say at this point, parents, everything they've done with them have been vetted, and that they're not considered suspects at this point, and they've cooperated, no one else. But they also were very pointed today. There have been some reports saying, oh, well, the parents have been cleared. No, wrong. No one, according to Eric Craddock, who is the chief deputy with the Sheriff's Department who's leading this investigation, has been cleared. No one has been cleared. They consider all options, and I would say right now it continues to be somewhat of a search, but they're waiting for more tips to come in. And frankly, just like you and I think authorities are frustrated and befuddled.
So, and that's a great distinction, right?
Okay. So now that we have that clarified, that was a clip from April. It was posted 7/24, but technically it was originally aired in April. Fast forward to September 4th, right? And nobody is cleared, okay? I never said they were suspects. I do believe that they're persons of interest. I'm sorry, they don't have to say that. But people go to persons of interest before they ever become a suspect. When they become a suspect, it means that they have evidence that they did something wrong. And we know that the house was cleaned, right? We hear it all the time. It was immaculate when the law enforcement got there, except for Sebastian's room. We learned on March 20th, because I saw Josh the Lab and I was in his chat. I couldn't, I'm not a subscriber. I subscribed today because it took 20 minutes to comment. But I ended up having to wait, and he was saying several things, and I just wanted to clarify a few things. But one of the things that, golly, I just lost my train of thought with Josh the Lab. He said several things that I wanted to point on. And one is that Chris McDonough, now, unless their internal policy, unless Chris told Seth something different, Chris and Seth have been discussing some things. I don't know when the last time he spoke to Seth was, but I know at some point he was speaking directly with Seth. Chris McDonough was. And according to what, unless Seth misunderstood him, and that's the only thing I can think of, that conversation, Chris, or at least the understanding of Seth, was that, and I clarified this, was that it's one or the other. Law enforcement has to ask the men, or he has to have a cleared parent, which I think the cleared parent goes to law enforcement and asks them for approval or something like that. I think that's where the stuff, I don't know. But according to Seth, he talked directly with Chris, and Chris said something to that effect. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter. If Seth doesn't need to be cleared and they can bring in the Cold Case Foundation, I think the point is we need the Cold Case Foundation to put some eyes on this. This is what the father wants done. The father, he did the polygraph test. That polygraph test was presented by Nancy Grace Show to the world. He passed with flying colors. He was at work. He wasn't home alone sleeping. There's so many things going for Seth that if they don't want to clear him, at least honor the man's request and let him feel comfort. Comfort. There was I was just about to speak the other things that Josh said, and they're not coming to my brain. It's driving me freaking nuts. I just had the 3 lists in my head. But I was commenting on that, and then, of course, everybody's running wild that Chris and Katie are cleared, and it's the hate channels that work directly with Chris and Katie that are passing around this misinformation. It was in a court document, just like the affidavits in Seth's divorce case that were unfounded, okay? The judge threw them out. They were unfounded, but nobody tells you that. They just run with what was posted in there with no corroboration whatsoever, because people don't know what they're looking at because they don't know the law, which is what I've been saying. And it's one of those things. It was in a court document. It was in a response, it looked like. It looks like it was in a response to, for whether he could get faith. But clearly, they're not cleared, and he yet again lied under oath on a document that he most likely had to sign under penalty of perjury. These people have no problem lying, And if they lie in court records, on affidavits, on protective orders, what else are these people lying about? What else are these people lying about? No, they're not suspects, but they're not cleared. What's this? Sorry. It's related to my oh, hold on here. Guys, I may have to cut this short because I think... Okay, I got this number. Update. Hopefully he hasn't called yet. He hasn't called yet. Good. I may have to go if my phone rings, okay? Because I'm waiting for an important phone call right now. But we still need to work on making sure media is well aware that this is going to be the first time. It's going to be September 10th in the Sumner County Courthouse related to I guess everything. It's going to be everything. And so it sounds like this is going to be the first time that Chris Katie, Seth, and Terry and Maddie, Kathy, will be in the same courtroom. And I think, I'd like the media to be there for my case, but I think if, from a media perspective, that would be the story I'm covering versus the person in there for a PO. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at this from my purview, as a reporter, reporting on these things. And it wouldn't, I don't know if I would be in there for some YouTuber or TikToker for the PO. It's the fact that this is, it's these people haven't been around each other in 6 months. This is the first time they come face to face with each other in 6 months. And from a media perspective, I think that's the bigger story. Sorry, you guys, if you hear rumbling in the background, we're about to have a major thunderstorm. The good news is finally, my yard is immaculate. Okay, not the fence. The fence is going to take some manual labor. Yeah, the starter on the riding lawnmower that I was supposed to do is going to take some manual labor, but I just looked at the guy and I'm like, look, I'll give you $100. Just clean up the damn yard. Clean it up. Clean it up. And he's like, really? I'm like, yes. So he was here for 4 hours today cleaning up the yard. And so the yard has been weed eated and mowed. Oh, hallelujah, right? Oh, I mean, I'm thinking, that $100, it's like, I don't like spending money. You guys know that. I nickel and dime everything to death because, I got to keep pennies, for the work that we do. But I was sitting there looking at it, and honestly, I'm thinking I can either get this, how much is this worth to me? Okay, that's what I'm looking at. How much is this worth to me, right? That's what why is Seth going to court? He's going to be there in support of me, and he's going to be there. So that's that. So I can promise you, hold on. Don't forget, Justice for All. I don't know if it's going to be Clutch the Pearls or what, but he'll be on at 7:00 tonight. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Long story short, the $100 was worth it to me. I looked at the risk and the reward of the $100. I don't spend money, right? It's gonna burn a hole in my pocket anyway. So what do I want? Do I want to keep the 40 or do I want to keep the 100 and still have to do yard work? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I had to weigh the options. Okay, I had to weigh the options. I think I made the right decision here. Okay, I'm just saying. Yes. Seth will be there. We want, yes, Seth is going to be there without a doubt. So we're going to have Seth there. He's going to be there in support of me. Then we're going to have them and listen, it sounds like from my understanding, now I don't know, but it sounds like, from my understanding, they're going to have to get on the stand and speak their allegations about me under oath. So they're going to be on the witness stand. Like, this is going to be huge. I didn't even think about this at the time because I'm dealing with my own BS with this county, right? I'm thinking, I'm worried here. I'm sick to my stomach. What's going to go on? I didn't break any damn laws. How can they cage somebody when they haven't broken a law? You would think a community would like the idea of nobody breaking laws in their community and just getting the bad guys, but that's not the case. That's not the case here. I don't know what I did, right? I don't know this detective before this. Never even heard of her, never even seen her, didn't know nothing about her. And so it's just, it's a very weird dynamic. So I'm kind of, self-absorbed at this moment. And then I'm like, oh my God, because I'm covering this case, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, this is the first time they're all going to be here. Yes, I did see Megan Fox's video. I surely did. I saw that. And with everything, so, we all know that anybody that has watched me, I mean, outside of me losing my shit because somebody was stalking me, you know, and me mad dogging, it doesn't. We know that they lied, so I'm interested in what they're going to say on the stand on the 10th, you know, and it's like we all know that they were that Katie lied on affidavits in her divorce. We know Chris has lied on affidavits in his divorce. We know that they lied on the POs for me. Do you guys see it? We know that they've changed their story over and over and over again when it comes to their missing son. Do you guys see a pattern here? A lifelong pattern? Oh, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, it's nice to have you. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. Mwah, 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 mwah. I hope you guys are doing well. Phil, it's nice to see you. I was just thinking about you guys. As a matter of fact, I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Oh, look at who we got. Diesel Roddy. Holy smokes, a blast from the past. Where are you? What rock you been hiding under? What rock you been hiding under? He admitted to stalking you when he said, prove it. I know. Yeah, it's you know, but I wasn't looking at, you know, I'm kind of upset with what happened to me. I can tell you that. You know me, and in the Constitution and violations of people's rights, like, you know, I back the blue. I usually go for top brass, you know, because I feel like there's chains of command. We can't blame the worker bees. I don't want the worker bees ever getting a bad rap. Every time there's a shooting or anything like that, the first thing I do is come up here and have a come to Jesus with the folks, right? You know, these are split-second decisions that these officers have to make. They're trained, you know, to make these split-second decisions. It's not fair to blame them if something goes awry, because things happen like that, you know? So we are so back the blue oriented on here, but we also know that there was an attack on our law enforcement where they were defunding the police at record numbers across this country, which was putting communities in peril. And so now that people are starting to see the fruits of that labor and how unsafe we are because of those campaigns, you know, we're trying very diligently to get these law enforcement funded well, and have proper training and better pay and better resources and better benefits, right? Like I'm sitting here, I mean, we approve for my sheriff here, like, you know, things are getting, you know, we're growing here. I think we approved like 1 or 2 boats and umpteen, you know, anything our law enforcement needs, because I know Rick is not going to ask for more than he needs, you know. He's just not that kind of person. Well, I shouldn't say that. Everybody has a budget to do. They would like to do this, but we pretty much accommodate our sheriff here. You know, you look at Maddie Soto's case, right? Look at Maddie Soto's case and look at Sebastian Rogers' case. Big difference with Florida law and Tennessee law. Okay, big difference. Florida law works. Tennessee law sucks. Period. It sucks. But this illusion that anybody is cleared is ridiculous, especially ones that say, my alibi is I was sleeping alone. Give me a break. If Seth can't get cleared when he's got videotape evidence of where he is, these people are not getting cleared anytime soon. Let's clear that up right now. He lied under oath yet again on a court document that was presented in the New Mexico court record. And I hope Nina's taking note. I hope Nina's taking note of all these, you know, these threats that apparently they're concerned that her daughter's under, you know. I think she needs to be having her attorney write some damn motion or something. And you got proof in the pudding right there with Nick Barris reiterating what the sheriff said. No one is cleared. I would have to mean that everybody that was in the Hendersonville area, including the neighbors, are all sitting there uncleared, right? I heard it through the grapevine. Now, again, this is rumor. I can't corroborate it without, speaking to Nina, which I've never spoken to Nina. I seen her interview, but I haven't spoke to her or anything like that. But I'd have to believe. I'm sorry. I move around a lot. You're always laying on me. You're just gonna have to move when I move. Okay, just is what it is. Let me get comfortable for you folks. Let me get comfortable. I don't know why I'm so. I don't like that either. It's getting so dark outside. I don't know why it looks so red. I wonder if it's the TV. Hold on, let me turn the TV off and maybe it changed my face. Oh, it was the TV. Okay. Nina has been very concerned about her child based upon her interview, based upon what she's seen Chris do while they were together, not to his stepchildren. I don't know. I think she even said something about while she was holding Faith or something that he did to her that may have injured or caused. I don't remember. You're going to have to go watch the interview yourself to get I don't want to misspeak. But there was definitely abuse in that household. There was definitely abuse of the children. And then you fast forward to Sebastian's case, and we hear about these CPS cases. We hear how he treats stepchildren. And it's hard not to think that the allegations that CPS were talking about aren't true, because they've been kind of corroborated already, haven't they? I mean, think about it. Seth has CPS reports. While we don't know what's in those CPS reports, we could clearly see that it upset Seth a lot. And then you have the prior Nina interview, and you hear how Chris treated his stepchildren when he was in the relationship with Nina. And it makes you kind of fast forward. Well, if he could do it back then, and he could do it to that young of a child, do we think that a mouthy 15-year-old kid that doesn't really, like him because of how much stress she put? We don't know what the situation is. I don't know if it didn't sound like, even Seth had said something that he was upset with Chris. He didn't like Chris or something like that, I think is something that he said to his father, and his father beats himself up because he didn't really explore it. He just thought it was, stepfather, stepkid type of, issues. And of course, Chris is constantly telling Seth he needs to punish his son, when he goes over there. So it just seems like Chris likes to punish. It seems like he's very irritable if things don't go exactly the way he wants them to go. He has no real flexibility. He has no real patience for, he wants things done, but what if somebody else wants things done, right? He would expect his way to be done, not this other person, because he's got to have it his way. That's the kind of personality I see with Chris, the very domineering personality, and I think it spills over. I think it spills over in every aspect of his life. So I'm very, very interested in this, but if you guys are working on media and stuff like that to be present, I don't think that, it being about me is going to get media there. I think it's the fact that these parents are going to be there. All these parents are going to be there. I don't know what to expect personally. I don't. I feel like what I went through was wrong. Oh, wow. I thought I wasn't getting it until Wednesday. Why would they send these people out to deliver stuff to my house in the frickin' rain? It's not nice. These poor people. Anyways. I think, who the hell is that? Who the hell is at my house? Oh, wow, it was being delivered. Get your treats, knock it off. Stop, get back. Thank you. They did have this person deliver this stuff in the rain. Poor guy. I didn't need it today. I thought I even stated I didn't need it today. Well, get up here. You jumped up. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Delilah jumped up on the couch all by herself. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, there's my baby girl. Oh, see, I love my mommy. I love my mommy. Me and her are inseparable. Except when I go out of town. My mom is already head over heels, already to the moon, that she's going to get Delilah for several days. My mom absolutely loves this little girl. I mean, it's hard not to fall in love with her. Okay, good. I had to get these. I had to get the stick. She loves these damn things. I'm not an old Roy fan at all. I'm really not. But she absolutely loves these things. You know, she absolutely loves them. Like my other twist that had the chicken around it, she thumbs her nose up for old Roy. And these things are $3 cheaper. Want it? Yeah, I knew you would. You want to get down? All right, get down. Get down. Here you go. Here's your treat. Take your treat. All right, go sit down. I stuck it in her mouth and she was yawning as I was sticking it in, so she had it on her fang teeth holding it up, and she's like, and let it drop. Get away from this. I just put you one down. Here. Here you go. Here. Eat it, don't eat it, I don't care. So, getting back to this, I just wanted to make sure everything was crystal clear on here. No pun intended. Because there's a lot of misinformation going around. And I'm getting sick of the misinformation that is just nasty misinformation, clickbait titles, which, you know, to each their own. I'm not going to get into the title wars. You know, I'm not one of those people. But it's very deceiving what is being said. You know, and those titles people are going to run with whether or not they think these people are clear. At the end of the day, these people's alibis are, I was sleeping alone. Now, even as angry as I am with Sumner County, I don't think they're stupid, okay? Maybe they need to freshen up on legalese and, you know, proper conduct, but other than that, you know, understanding the law maybe. But for the most part, I have to think that they're not that, you know, that they know when they're seeing BS. Let's pray. Okay? Let us pray, because I really don't know. I'll find out. You know, as soon as I see these people and I see them in the flesh and I see their body language, you know me. I'm a behavior person. I analyze people's behavior. I analyze you know, a lot of things about people. That's one of the reasons why I love doing things face to face and not online, because I get a good cue of who they are as a person, believe it or not, usually within the first few seconds of speaking to them or a few seconds of seeing them interact. I gauge them, you know, I can gauge them pretty well. And to be honest with you, I'm fairly spot on. I'm not 100% accurate. Nobody would be 100% accurate, but I think I'm at least in the high 80 percentile in my assessments of people, you know. So that's just in my opinion, you know, not trying to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but I do use, you know, my experience in dealing with a bunch of BSers, right? Reading books, you know, Chase Hughes, right? The body language experts, you know, reading their books, taking their course. So it's not that I'm an expert or anything like that, but I utilize the skills that I have to gauge people. Chris, on the other hand, was pretty easy to gauge because he was always online. He was so busy trying to plead his innocence and not talk actually about the missing child, that it was very easy, even just hearing his voice, to gauge the kind of person he was, because you saw him in his ups and downs, right? We saw him when he was under the influence of alcohol, so we know that demeanor gets a little rough around the edges. It doesn't mind calling people horrible names, and You know, he's very domineering, very intimidating, and then you see a more calm Chris. So you see this up and down pattern with Chris all the time. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And so it tells you a lot. And when he's down, it's because he needs to be on his best behavior. When he's up and he's just da, 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 it's because he's gotten to his limit. And so you can see how many times he's been to his limit where he just can't contain himself anymore, right? So those are very interesting behaviors of Chris that we've been able to see front and center, and that's just by him, by what the work he's done on these channels and allowing what the world needs to see. I can tell you that first impressions are lasting impressions, and his first impression under the gun was not a very good impression, in my opinion, of this man. I think, in all fairness, he was put in a situation that he does not want to be in. And he's just doing his best to try to keep his head above water, and this is now starting to affect him. So he just wants to shut everybody down, but he doesn't realize you can't do that. This is America. You know, we are not Chinese. We don't live in a communist country. We have freedoms of speech and freedom of press, and we can't be constrained by our government. You know, and that's an uphill battle for people like Chris and Katie that just want to contain. We personally watched them not do a damn thing. We personally watched them run to a different state. We personally exhibited behaviors that we do not attribute to any grieving parent. We've watched them shop for motorcycles. A lot of their behavior, in all fairness, has been inappropriate. If we had to use the appropriate word, it's inappropriate. Their behavior has been inappropriate. Oh, it's pouring down rain right now. I had just washed my hair and had just blow dried it. I was out sweating, so it's got to be washed again tonight, which sucks. I hate washing my hair 2 nights in a row, but I'm going to have to. And so last night, she wanted to go out, right? And I'm like, I opened the door and I opened the screen before I realized it is sprinkling. And I'm like, she's already out there. And I'm like, you need to get your butt back in here because I'm not getting my hair wet. Rainwater does a number to Betty's hair. I don't know why. It doesn't make it frizzy. It makes it weighted and greasy. I don't know what it is, but it makes it weighted and greasy. Some people, they get a little water and their hair just, you know, frizzes out. Mine's just the opposite. Mine's just the opposite. I love the sound of rain. Well, it sounds even better now that, come on. It sounds even better. Every time she gets a chance to stick her tongue right in my kisser, she does. With the metal roof, you hear it a little louder. And I kind of like it because it reminds me of my grandpa's house. You just have to mention water and my hair frizzes. Exactly. So I'm sitting inside and I'm like, you know, and she hates the rain, right? She doesn't like wet grass. So I figured she'd turn around and come back in, which she did. But she sat down first because she wanted to see if Emily was out, if Emily could come out and play. Emily's the Chihuahua next door at Glenn's house. And she's a little chubbier, you know, so she'll play with Delilah for a little bit, but she doesn't give her a good run for her money. I don't have kids, but I have a little dog. I would missing buying anything would be the last thing. I know. That's what I said. I mean, I've only had her since I came back. Well, since this all event, you know, with me driving around and videotaping came in. It seems like what some people are upset about is me calling him a B and telling him to go F himself, right? And I'm sorry, but I had just been stalked. I had been threatened prior to that I was going to get run over, punched in my face. This is all coming from their camp. And then I felt like it was putting action behind those threats when he came behind my car. I was fit to be tied. I was angry, you know? I was angry. I felt, you know, like they were trying to intimidate me. And so you guys know that's not, I don't roll that way. I'm not built like that. I will mad dog the F out of them. And you know what? Quite frankly, I was so pissed off, I was ready to go and get a sign and start walking up and down a sidewalk, to be honest with you. You know? Because how dare you? I'm not bothering them. Why are they bothering me? So I was a little perturbed, to say the least, but I really don't care. The 10th will be the day. Just make sure anybody that's doing, I know there was a few people doing some press releases and stuff like that. Just remember that it's not going to be, this is not about me. This is still, even though we're going through this and my name's on this court case, it's still about Sebastian. All of this is about Sebastian. You know, who wants Sebastian found and who does not? But one thing they can't do, which, thank God, they can't restrict my constitutional rights. You know? Now, would they? I don't know. I've never met this judge before. I don't know this judge. I'm not from this community. I was only there for 4 days. So I don't know the people. I didn't bother anybody. Remember that. So it should be interesting. BHB, I'm the exact same way. Don't challenge me. Right. You know? I don't know if you're short or not. It might be a Napoleon syndrome. I don't really care. This is the way I was built. This is how God made me. You know? I wonder why God made me this way. I ask all the time. I've never gotten an answer. But I have to think that God doesn't make mistakes, and I am exactly the way I need to be. You know? I wake up every day trying to do my best, and that's from what I hear, that's all that's expected of me. I'm 5'4". I'm not even 5'1". I lost a quarter of an inch with the neck surgery. They wanted to stop you and silence you. I believe you're going to the businesses was a key that unlocked their madness. Well, you know, I'm sorry. Don't lie. You know, we've asked this man several times where he was, and he kept wanting to lie to us. I have a right to find out the truth. You know, I'm an investigative journalist. I'm a gonzo journalist. This is journalistic work, no matter how you look at it. And for them to say, oh, well, I can't answer that. I can't. Fine, then I'll find somebody that can. You guys know me. If I've got a problem, what do? I go under it, over it, or around it. I mean, that's the way I've been my whole life. You know? You don't let obstacles stop you from finding out the truth. And so, but it's all done lawfully and legally. You know, there's no challenge to that. I'm allowed to ask the questions. I'm allowed to go to public places. I'm allowed to go to businesses and ask questions if they're willing to talk. If they told me to leave, I would immediately leave. Right? But the thought that I'm not even allowed to ask, that's bull. And no, I don't think it was that, because to be honest with you, I didn't start going to the businesses until I was in Mississippi, and that was when they were trying to serve me. And because I remember Seth calling me, because he knew I was there. I notified a QB's attorney, like, I want to say weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks before I went. And I specifically said the last week of July and the first week of August, I would not be here. I was going to be in that area. Because, you know, it's just a courtesy to let the attorney know, because, you know, it's courtesy not to file things when people are out of town and let the time tick down. You know, he's been out of the country and stuff like that. And, of course, I didn't file anything when he was out of town. It's just kind of a professional courtesy, if you will. So I let him know weeks before I was going to be there, because I didn't want him trying to schedule any hearings or, you know, fussing with me about this, that, or the other. I just wanted to have, you know, a time to be there. So if anybody knew, it's her attorney, and she should have known. And I feel like this was all intentional for me not to have been served, because even her attorney knew about it weeks before I went. Weeks. So this whole illusion that this lady has about me willfully avoiding, I literally have documentation, proof that goes back weeks. Let's see if they try to buck. Oh, I heard. Who said it? I haven't heard it from Dog personally, but I heard Dog the Bounty Hunter is also going to this hearing. I just heard somebody. I heard it maybe as rumor. Does anybody know whether it's true or not? Because that will be impressive to have the family, the entire family there, and Dog the Bounty Hunter there at my court hearing. It would blow my ever-loving mind. It would blow my ever-loving mind. Let me just see, make sure I didn't miss anything. I can't believe they sent that guy out to deliver sticks I didn't need in the freaking pouring rain. I feel so bad for him. That must suck. That must suck. So the long and short of this is nobody's cleared, which is why, you know, why would we be going and trying to have Seth cleared if there's no need to clear anybody or everybody's been cleared? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Oh my goodness, that would be awesome. You better bring some diapers. No, Dog did not donate 20. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. You guys might want to read that stuff again. Just saying. Nick might be doing one too, but you know, it sounds like Dog is also. I don't know. Maybe I misread. You know, sometimes I whiz through some of the stuff that I'm seeing, so I personally don't know. Be talking about court stuff and Proudfoot's not being clean. It's good that evidentiary hearing is the day before CP's. No, it's not. We're doing everything on the 10th. I know it says the 9th, but I'm not going to be there the 9th. Everything's been moved to the 10th. Everything's being done on the 10th. Everything. The witnesses, the POs. Like I said, I was not properly served, so all this has to be redone. And so everybody's going to have to be there. They're going to have to be put under oath and have to answer and produce the evidence against me that they put in those affidavits. And then I think they're going to be discussing the charges, which, in my opinion, the affidavit is not sufficient for the charges. You know, it's not sufficient. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't want to talk about it because I don't know how it's going to go, and I don't want to misspeak. But I just want everybody to know that it sounds like this is going to be bigger than Betty's case. Just saying, you know. It doesn't sound like, it sounds like people will be there, but it doesn't sound like people are going to be there for Betty and Betty's First Amendment constitutional rights. It sounds like they're going to be there for Dog the Bounty Hunter, Seth, Katie, Chris, Terry, and Kathy. I'm feeling unpopular right now. Just saying. I'm feeling a little lonely over here. I'm just joking. Sumner 3 Ring Circus. Release the oh, good Nora. I have had so many people from that community reach out to me and just apologize for their sheriff's department. I didn't know how that community truly felt. I didn't know that they cared. I didn't know that they watched me. I knew that a few people reached out to me, for the gathering of voices. And so I was happy to help the community out because they felt the injustice. And so I didn't want to go, I wanted to be very respectful. I've been trying to be very respectful in this county to a county that's been very disrespectful to me, right? We all know I could have pushed against the system if I really wanted to, but I didn't. I kept to myself. I stayed quiet. I kept my nose down. I tried to make sure that I went over and above the call of duty to make sure I didn't cause any discomfort for anybody. I just got in there, got my content, and left. It wasn't anything. Even the gathering of voices, we did the Summer Wells case, the gathering of voices in front of Hopkins County, and that went off without a hitch. It was a beautiful thing, and we had a great time there honoring and coming together for Summer Wells. And I just kind of envisioned that for Sebastian Rogers, and the county ruined it all. Like, how can a law enforcement body literally ruin his vigil and ruin a gathering of voices for this boy? Like, do they not have hearts? What is wrong with these people? I feel like I'm dealing with the devil themselves. Like, who would do that? Like, what monster would ruin a boy's vigil? It's appalling. I don't know. I don't know what other word to use than appalling. Absolutely appalling. Well, apparently these people knew they could do it whatever they wanted, and they did, and they don't want to be bothered. They're so special. They're freaking. They feel entitled. Like, this is supposed to be no offense to the people in here that aren't conservative. Okay, I don't mean to insult you, but you're probably going to be a little offended, and I apologize. But it's not like you're in a liberal county. You're in a conservative county. This is a red county acting this way. And you got the haves and have-nots in there? Like, what? We usually leave that for the liberals and progressives for, rules for the haves and the rules for the have-nots. Usually in conservative areas, the rule is applied equally to all. I'm a Republican and a conservative for a reason, for my own personal reasons, just like some people are Democrats for their own personal reasons. But, we leave this nonsense usually in, blue rand areas. Like, this is like weird to me. I've never had an experience like this. But you know what? Again, I think that they were trolled, like they piecemealed all this stuff together and they didn't give context for any of it. They just showed little clips here, little clips there, little clips here. So, this is a bad woman. We must take her, chop her head off. Let's, lynch her. Let's publicly lynch her. I don't see how the county's going to be able to walk this back. I mean, this hit national news, my arrest. National news, and I never committed one crime. There's so much damage here. The organizations I'm associated with, the damage that this caused the organizations I'm associated with, this is really, this is bad. This is really, really, really bad. And so I'm just kind of waiting for the 10th to come around to find out what my options are. Where do we go from here? And is this detective going to still be gunning for me? I mean, I don't know. We need to figure that out, and it's going to be figured out on Tuesday, September 10th. It's less than a week away, so if you guys would continue to reach out to any and all media that is covering this case, that has an interest in this case, that has run a story on this case, I'd really, really like Court TV running this or having a video, a camera in the room. But I'm not going to be picky. I just want to make sure that whatever goes on in there is being covered by media. Because like I said, it's really, really difficult to screw with somebody's constitutional rights when you're looking at cameras. Lots and lots of cameras, So that's kind of where my mindset is, and I know I kind of show my hand a little bit on this, but I don't really care because I need help making sure that the media is there, I have no way of, you guys know people personally. I have a few people that I call personally, and we need information. We need people there. We need the information out. I did nothing wrong, and I want to make sure that I can scream it from the rooftops when this case is over, I think I've earned that. From your mouth to God's ears, Betty. Yeah, probably not. Hate to say it. I really feel this will work out in your favor. They have clearly filed charges on false reports. The judge needs to hear your side. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be taking the stand as well, as a matter of fact. I don't know if I am. I don't know what, again, I haven't really talked to my attorney about this. I probably shouldn't even be speaking about it. So let's just get on a different topic, because I don't know what he's going to do, and I don't want to say I'm going to do this and then not do it, and then people like, oh my God, that, right? So I really don't know. I'm taking whatever my attorney tells me he wants to do, I'm going to follow that guidance. You see what I'm saying? I've got nothing to hide one way or the other, so it is what it is. Another creator said earlier that Dog is involved in the investigate is involved. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. I can promise you that whoever creator said that probably didn't have a conversation with Dog the Bounty Hunter. I can guarantee you that that is not the case. And how do I know that that's not the case? It's not, I'm not at liberty to tell you, but I can promise you that is a bold-faced lie. Bold-face. Just saying. So, that there's no possibility of that. He's coming to investigate Sebastian Rogers' case, and I'm sure, just like any seasoned investigator, is going to move from Seth very quickly. Very quickly. So I'm sure he's going to look into him. I'm sure he, just like everybody else, like when you start a new case, you got to look at all the people involved, and you got to do the process of elimination by yourself, right? You can't take somebody else's work. That's why when people say, well, I've already been here, and it's like, I don't care, you know, not to be rude, but I haven't done it. And I think a lot of people that do these things are just like that, you know, and unless you do it, you can't rely on somebody else. You've got to do it your way. So you know that it's done your way and you can move on past it. If somebody just tells you, you're going to be in the back of your mind wondering, was it done right? Was it done this way? Was it done that way? And it's going to gnaw at you, especially when you keep running up and keep getting strikes, like, you know, you're striking out, you're striking out, you're striking out, and it's always in the back of your mind. Should I check that one place? Should I check that one place? Should I, you know? So everybody's going to start from the beginning when they're coming into the case. They're going to look with fresh eyes. That means they're going to look at all parties involved. So I think it would be wrong of Dog not to look at Seth, even though he's heard that Seth has, you know, this video and everything, because it wasn't done his way and he's taking secondhand information. We don't like secondhand information when we're trying to search for the truth, you know? So I have to imagine that Dog is similar to me in this respect and is going to do this from the beginning to the end. He's not listening to secondhand information. He only wants firsthand information, factual information, so he can make his analysis and assessments and opinions, you know? I never listen to anybody unless I can prove it. You know, it's not that I don't listen to them. I hear them, but unless I can, like videos or sounds or things that people catch, unless I can reproduce it myself, I will not run with it. Because there's been so many people that provide bunk information, and if you have a legitimate source to go to, and you can replicate these videos that are being made, then you know it's legitimate. If you can't, like the trees in front of that garage, you know, I could see what they were talking about, but it wasn't until I got there that I realized, because it kind of looks like there's lights from the outside pointing toward the garage, and you see this kind of, you know, stuff in the light source. But when you realize that the lights are in the garage and they're shining backwards, then you realize that the light, the light is going the opposite direction than what you need it to go in order for that to be anybody on the other side of it. So it's easy to just, you know, understand what it is. Another reason why I like being boots on the ground. But had I not done the night view, we would not have realized that the lights were inside the garage, not on the outside of the garage. So I was thankful for that. That closed up one gap. But there's just a lot of things. And I've watched Dog a long time. And, you know, everybody knows I know his nephew. I loved Beth. One of the reasons why I kept Delilah's name Delilah and didn't change it is because it's the name of Beth Chapman's dog that I learned. Her dog was named Delilah. And, you know, I really care a lot about this case, and I've watched Dog to know that he wants things for the good. He tries to do what he can to help. He is another person that was a deplorable, that woke up one day and changed their life and really blossomed, you know, really blossomed into a very good, loving Christian man that has a family that you know, is his life perfect? Of course not. I can't paint nobody's life's perfect. Does he probably make mistakes on the daily? I'm sure he does, just like every other human being on this earth. Rest in peace, Beth. And it was crazy because I was talking to Justin on Beth's birthday, and one time I called him, and he was wearing the shirt of Beth, and he's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I got my two aunties, because everybody says I remind them of Beth Chapman, and he's like, I feel like I got my two aunties here. Like, I'm too young to be your auntie. So it's cool. I haven't talked to him in a little minute, but just seen you on channel 2 with the dog. Who? Me? Beth was a sweet person. She was a feisty girl. She didn't put up with no shit. I'll tell you that. She'd cuss your ass out in a heartbeat. Lovingly. Until it wasn't. I think she misunderstood your comment. It's all good. Okay. This creator has been biased because their feelings and not because of the facts. Are you talking about the crap? I hope you're not talking about me. I am kind of biased now. You know, I wasn't biased when I started. I felt uncomfortable about certain things, but, you know, things were going on in my personal life, so I gave the benefit of the doubt. And then it was just like, when enough was enough, it's like, I can't take it no more. I'm not stupid here, okay? It's not because I'm having a bad day. This does not sound right. Remember that? You know, I'm like biting my tongue. I'm like, I can't do it no more. This is what I think is going on. And from that point forward, no more. And you always know what kind of parent you're dealing with by seeing what channels they go to. You know, are you dealing with a criminal parent, or are you dealing with a good parent, right? Because if they're going to criminal channels, felon channels to do their bidding, you know what kind of parents we're dealing with. And I've never seen Navy people that live in a $1 million property, close to $1 million property, have at least $1 million in assets, go to literally felon channels and associate with felons. I've never heard that in my life. Honestly. It just doesn't bode. That in and of itself was highly suspect. But I always watch where the parents go. Are they going to these criminal channels? Are they going to legitimate channels and keeping separated from all of the chaos and drama? And when I saw them go directly to these disgusting channels, it painted a very clear picture for me. Just saying. Pussy Willow Pendercat, it's nice to see you. Ginger, it's nice to see you. Is CP, I don't know where CP, I heard he's in Louisiana. I don't know what part of Louisiana, I don't know where. I'm sure if I had to do some, you know, web sleuthing, I'm sure I could find out, but I really don't care to until after this court hearing is over, right? You know, I don't want anything rocking the boat. I want to make sure that I'm cleared of all charges because I didn't do anything illegal. Being a web sleuth is not illegal. Learning about people's coming and going is not illegal. If it's public record, it's public. I mean, if it's on public roadway, it's public. It's not like I'm out there. I was out there for 4 days. How much stalking could I possibly do when my whole entire time? Like, you should look at my Google Maps. Like, I was all over the place. Who has time to stalk somebody? It's horse manure. We'll leave it at that. It's horse manure. I'm not going to talk about it no more. Oh, it's me, Jen. It's nice to see you, my love bug. I hope you're doing well. I'm not doing as well. Hopefully by Tuesday I'll be doing much better. So, guys, which reminds me, Saturday, I'll be going live Saturday, and I most likely will go live Sunday, but I will be traveling on Sunday, so we're going to be hit and miss with content. And I'm going to be at my mom's Saturday, so we're going to be hit and miss with content. So just bear with me, but when I do go live, please come over here and support. Don't forget, we have growing legal expenses. So we are crowdfunding. We are literally $1 will do. We don't want anybody breaking their bank. We don't want anybody doing anything that they cannot afford. That's why we make it $1 will do. So if you have a buck, an extra buck laying around that you can toss Bullhorn Betty's way, please don't forget to hit up my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. I have not moved any money out of any of those accounts. Whatever is accruing in those accounts is going to use one of two ways: ongoing legal expenses, or paying back the money that was that helped me through this difficult time. So don't forget that. Crystal Pistol, I haven't seen it yet. Check it out. So I think I'm pretty much done. Does anybody have any questions? I'll give a few minutes. I always forget to ask, does anybody have any questions? And I just sign out. But we're over an hour. Forever Nikki's mom, it's nice to see you. If you guys have any topics that you guys would like to discuss, now that we know that nobody's been cleared, Seth has not been cleared, Chris hasn't been cleared, Katie hasn't been cleared. Hell, I don't even think the Bowerstocks would be cleared at this moment. I just tagged you in a breakdown of the misinformation for rumors being clear. Oh, awesome. Thank you. The devotional, I already read it. You're going to have to go back to my live. I think we read it on Crime Stories earlier today. Hello. It's nice to see you, Frankie. I hope you're doing well. Does circuit court allow cameras? Well, I don't know. I'd have to think that they allow cameras in a courtroom of public interest. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. We have cameras in the courtrooms all the time. This is Tennessee. They're not really that liberal, or they're not that conservative when it comes to cameras that I've seen, that I'm aware of. I guess we'll find out. But either way, we can definitely have some. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think they'll allow cameras in the courtroom. I have to think that they allow cameras in the courtroom. I mean, this is the United States of America. It's very, very limited that they, and it's very hard to kick cameras and photography out of courtrooms. I mean, there are a few cases where judges do it, but for the majority of judges, they work for the people. The courtroom is the people's courtroom. It's not theirs. The people supersede, and exceed the judge, the people. Usually the judge is always thinking of the people. That's his job, to think of the people. And the fact that that courthouse is not the judges, it's the people's courthouse. People need to understand the people. We, the people, own all of the government stuff. Okay? It's our money that paid for it. The courthouses, the chairs in the courthouses, the benches in the courthouses, it's the people's stuff. It's the people's stuff. Our government works for us. We don't work for our government. Okay? Our government is civil servants to us, the people. It's not the other way around. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not the judge in that room. I don't know. But I have to think that there are cameras in the courtrooms. I've seen cameras in Tennessee courtrooms. I've seen cameras in Sumner County courthouses. So I don't see why they would all of a sudden not allow cameras in the courtroom. This is a major public interest case. Just saying. Phones are not usually allowed in the courtrooms. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing. Like, even when I go there, I'm going to have my computer just in case I need to look at something. They'll allow the computers in, but not the cell phones. So I think it's because computers don't take pictures, But, all right, guys. It's starting to rain, and it's starting to make me drowsy. The rain does that to me. Right now I'm starting to get... Is it time for an afternoon nap yet? Don't forget, apparently Justin For All is going live at 7 p.m. I think he's going to be discussing this very topic. I don't know what his commentary will be on it. I'm interested in finding out. But, yeah, they're not cleared. I don't care what dumbass says about it, okay? Because I was in Josh the Lab's live today, and people are really turning against Jonathan. It sounds like people are like, he did such a good job in Calvacanti's case. He goes, I don't know what's going on with him. He's just intentionally doing this. You know, you should go read the comments. They were pretty, but they were spot on. But at least I know that people are seeing his behavior and seeing his bias in his reporting when it comes to this case and other cases. Like even J.P. Miller. I even if J.P. Miller was innocent, I don't think he would have given him a fair shake because, you know, his girlfriend's got this thing, oh, he killed that woman by, you know, this or that. Listen, I believe that at the end of the day, unaliving yourself is a personal decision, okay? It sounded to me like her mind was made up. You know, for whatever reason, we don't know what's going on. Did he push her to that point? I have to believe she felt suffocated and felt like she was never going to get out. I think that she was so faithful in her faith, the whole idea of the divorce was really weighing on her on a spiritual and godly level. I think that she felt, I think she was just done. Like, she made sure that law enforcement could find her. I mean, you know, so she had her mind made up, and you know they were going. I think they were even trying to allege that there was somebody in the background, which there could have been something. You don't know how far away that noise came from, or how good her speaker is, or whatever it may be. We just don't know. But I never, after hearing that, because I had heard her voice many times through other videos doing research in the case, and when I heard the 911 call, and I heard her voice on it and heard how calm she was and how, you know, she wasn't frantic. It told me very, very much what I needed to know. And it was that she took her own life and she willingly did it. And she wanted to make sure that people could find her after she did it. You know, whether we agree with her decision or not, at the end of the day, she made the decision, and people may be disgruntled when I say this. J.P. Miller was not there, you know, and his whole entire, because of her death, I think the FBI, it sounds like she was working with the FBI before this. It sounds like she gave them everything that they needed for their investigation of him, and she was just like, you know, F you, I'm done, and dropped the mic, you know. I really think that that's what it was, but I don't know. September 10th is a big day. Keep going, Betty. Truth will prevail. Yeah, we're going to keep going. This was a poor decision by everybody involved. That's all I got to say. It was a very poor decision with everybody involved. Hey, Terry Lynn, which reminds me, thank you. Terry Lynn is doing a search September 14th. You might want to, if you can, send me where you guys are going to be meeting if you have that, or if you don't want to broadcast that, or you want them to reach out to you or whatever. Tell me what kind of instructions you would like, because I really want people out there to help. This is you know, there's $50,000, potentially $75,000 out there for reward for any information leading to the safe return of Sebastian Rogers or those responsible for his disappearance. Can you tell in the face he's going through puberty when he makes a remark to... Does it scare you? That high-pitched? I don't know. I'm in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, but judges feel they have the right, but they forget. Seth just wants to be cleared for resources. Well, I'm getting conflicting information, because Josh on the lab says that it's only by law enforcement asking Chris to come in, but Seth's understanding of a conversation him and Chris had, unless Chris didn't know the process, you know, because it sounds like there's more people that make up the Cold Case Foundation than Chris. So maybe somebody else handles that. Maybe he didn't understand the process. But Seth really does believe that, Chris told Seth, that it was one or the other, and that was Seth's understanding. Now, it is possible Seth could have possibly misunderstood a conversation with him. I don't know. Oh, which I need to clarify one thing. I saw posts going around that Seth said that Katie and Chris were cleared. Seth has never been advised by TBI or anybody that anybody has been cleared. Otherwise, he would be freaking hot as heck to know that Chris and Katie were cleared, but he was not. So whoever's passing that rumor around just needs to stop. Chris and Katie are not cleared. Seth is not cleared. Okay? So for all the bozos and yahoos out there on social media that keep misinforming your public, please do just a little bit of fact finding before you open your trap, because this is causing a lot of problems on these streets, and we're looking for truth, not fiction. Just saying. All right, guys, take it easy. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, don't be a dirtbag. And be kind to one another. God bless.